What? How are you? We have some Q&A to do. I hope you're doing fine, 'cause it's Q&A time again. Hello, world. How's it going? Hope you guys are all doing great. If not, as always, I hope it gets better for you. Welcome to another Friday Night Live Q&A, where you can ask me and this amazing fish community we have questions on keeping freshwater aquarium fish, shrimp, and plants. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Right about a minute. Yeah, that's good. Hello, everybody in the chat. See y'all in here. Listen, people roll in. Oh man, it's Friday again. I cannot believe how fast this week went. Time flies, I swear. The older you get, the faster it flies. Excuse me. Just got done, had to hammer some sloppy joes and fries before I hopped on here. Cause, yeah, that's just the way my dinner went. I always get fed my dinner like 15 minutes before I gotta go live, and then I just gotta hurry up and eat it. One day, hopefully that doesn't happen again. Blue shrimp you sent are doing great, says David Reed. Glad to hear it. Thank you so much for the support and the order. And I am in top chat. So what was on that computer? That's actually just my home screen. If you're wondering what's on my computer, it's just the home screen and like a bazillion tabs. Cause you gotta keep up with that research, you know. Zoop. Yes, been staying busy around here, you guys. Really want to get more videos out for you guys, but there's just been so much work to do around here. With your guys' orders, like, it has almost tripled since this whole shenanigans started. So we've been doing the best we can over here, trying to keep up with things. Like, shoot, I still got a net in here that I've been trying to get out of this tank for quite some time, but I always got to think about how I wash my hands and whatnot as I'm doing my task, because I've got to wash my hands like a bazillion times a day with all these fish tanks. So I kind of think about that. But hello, all you awesome people. Does kitty litter actually work as outdoors fish? So yes, I know a lot of people who have used kitty litter and it has worked for them. You don't want to get the fragrant stuff. You want to get like that, like dirt cheap stuff that has nothing in it. I have never tried it. I heard it can get messy, but I've heard it has actually like worked real wonders. So some people just use it like a mix too. They won't do just kitty litter. They'll just throw some in there as like a fluff or whatnot. But yeah, I guess it works from what people have told me. Hey Lucas, when are you selling the Rainbow Tiger Endlers? So right at the moment, I am not selling any. I don't have a whole lot to sell, and they haven't quite been breeding true for me. They started reverting back to a more wild type, I'm guessing. It's like I've been getting these ones that just have like an orange stripe coming through them. So they're not breeding like they used to, so I've kind of cut them down. Somebody was talking about trading some, but I've never heard more back from Sarah about that. How to cure Elobiosidase. So Ryan Crowley, I have no idea. If anybody has any information on that in the chat, I've never actually dealt with it. I am sure, I believe there are a couple cures now, or at least preventions that people do. But I've never actually dealt with it, luckily. Hopefully I never have to. Well, when will you have Fire Red Neos on your website again? Should be here soon. Probably give them like maybe a couple weeks. Say about 2 weeks. A lot of them are just small. I've got a ton of them. They're just small right now. Thank you, Candy Overhauls, for posting up my website with the special buys. And if you guys are looking for some homebred aquatic stuff like plants, shrimp, and fish, I do have some things that I do breed out here on my website. So Candy, thank you so much for being awesome and for posting that. And special buys is pretty much where you'll find everything in stock. Diana, even though some are out of stock, it's hard to keep up with you guys. You guys are crazy. I can't believe it. Diana Connor, aren't you working on a strain of orange tiger shrimp? How's that coming? So they actually bred out a lot at one point in time. I did sell a few of them, and then they just quit breeding on me. So I have like maybe 3 or 4 left that have just been like doing nothing for quite some time. And I am on live chat, Candy, thank you. I did remember to do that. But good looking out. How big do a mono shrimp get? They get pretty big. Like they get a couple inches. As far as neocaridina and caridinias, the monos get much, much bigger. Like 2 times, if not more, the size of a neo or a regular caridinia shrimp. Bees, tigers, all those. And that's why they can eat them too, because monos are definitely way bigger than them. So keep that in mind when you are dealing with the monos. But they are cool. Sharon Miller, Lucas, didn't Haley buy her long fin Plecos from you? Do you still sell them? So no, I can't remember who she bought those long fin Plecos from. I think she got them from somebody out of her club. I don't know if she still sells them or what. Well, there, she's in the chat. Yep, from Club Swap. Scrolling. Candy, thank you. Adam Scrum says, how can I get planaria? None of my tanks have it yet. I feel cheated. What's up with that? That's hilarious. So yeah, I mean, planaria is not always a bad thing, and it can be a nice live food for your fish. So if you do have fish tanks, especially guppies and like fish that like to pick at things, tetras, resboras, that constantly like to pick, you might not ever see that planaria, because more than likely it got cleaned up before it even had a chance. Now if you have a shrimp tank and you get new plants, that's the best way to get planaria. Now I'm sure somebody in this chat probably has planaria, because it usually gets asked every Friday night how to get rid of planaria, which is little flatworms for those who don't know. And yeah, maybe they can help you out. But shrimp tank, new plants, that's the easiest way to get it. From like a LFS or something. You have to get the plants from like a dirty source. William Booth said, how would you acclimate a fish from acidic water to higher pH? So I would do that over time, actually. You want to do that real slow, not just drip acclimation. You want to like almost make that a 2-week process where you're just slowly graduating the hardness, because the problem comes with the fish that are raised up in the soft acidic water is their immune systems, they're not quite used to all the bacterias and whatnot that can be in harder water, because in that acidic water, those bacterias and viruses aren't allowed to live and thrive like they do in hard water. So the biggest thing is on their immune system and slowly letting them build that up. So a lot has to do within their gut bacteria too when it comes to that transition. So it's just giving their natural body and cycle time to adjust to the new bacterias and whatnot. Because I mean, our bodies, animal bodies, human bodies are absolutely amazing in their way that they can adapt to all sorts of bacteria, viruses, and whatnot. Cherish Cave, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, Cherish. Or not super chat, but membership. Even better, Cherish. Thank you so much. Oh no, what's that? Hitting buttons over here. Got me all excited on that membership. Now I don't know what I'm doing. All right, nothing but Stardust says, hi Lucas, there are different shrimp king foods. Which one should I get for my red cherry shrimp? Honestly, I think they're kind of overpriced for shrimp food, but if that's what you really want to go for. I really don't know. I think they have one that's specific towards red pigment. I couldn't tell you exactly which one. I personally want to spend my money on it. I can get a huge can. I can get this, I think, whoa, oh no. Knocked you guys out. Oh, that's not good. Oh man, I think we're back. All right, knocked you guys out, gee whiz. But this stuff, I think it's like $6 a can. $6 a can. This is a lot of food, lasts you a long time, and for cherries, this works great. Absolutely amazing. Anthony Brown, thank you so much for the support. Throw them down to $5 super chat. Says, at LRB, keep them blues breeding. I'll be placing an order mid next month, and thank you for the Q&A. Always listening when driving. Well, thank you so much for the support, and I have been breeding them as fast as they'll breed. So I'm working on it. I'm trying to spread them out. Actually talking to Ted Judy. Well, I made contact with him to talk to him about some custom aquariums. Since you guys have been absolutely so awesome this last month and last couple months, like, I'm able to do some bigger projects now where I can set some cool stuff up for you guys. So I'm excited about all this that's about to happen for you guys and us and everybody involved with this channel. So big thank you to all of you guys. Scrolling. Another super chat. William Booth, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says just a little something to say thanks for all the info you give us. Well, thank you, William Booth. I appreciate it. You guys have been absolutely awesome to me. And it's just, I feel very humble and great to be on here to help share all this and what I get to learn with you guys. Because if I wasn't able to, and it would just all go into vain. Like, I wouldn't even be at this stage at all. I would have probably just been like, screw it, let's downsize. I don't want to do this, but like, you guys help motivate me to like really push the envelopes and boundaries. So I've got to thank you guys. Like, you guys have been amazing. Okay. What is the R in LRB? Reese. That's my middle name. Scrolling. And sorry if I missed your guys' questions. I do my best to try to speed read all this. Just thinking about how I haven't seen a post from Flip Aquatics lately. I think they are down close to the city. Anyone know if they are okay? I think he's been doing his thing, staying busy, kind of like we have. Just as far as like online retail sellers of aquatic stuff, since everybody's at their home playing with their tanks, it has been really busy for our industry. So that could be a big reason. I mean, that's why I haven't been knocking out videos myself. I'm able to like video bits and pieces here, so I could like slap some stuff together for you guys later. As you can see there, I've got a tripod, some lights set up. I was videoing something for you guys there. As you can see, I'm missing a rack. There was a rack there last Friday. It is now gone. Haley of Oddball Aquatics has taken it. Then I also cleared this out, which is one reason I'm talking to Ted Judy for too, is I want to do something really cool up there. That'll be different. Chuck Black, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, throwing up the thumbs up. Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate you, brother. Wow, great prices on the big cans. Yeah, those are on Chewy. You go to Chewy, amazing prices for those cans. I think at Petco they're like 15 bucks, $6 at Chewy. Adam Scrump says, do you ever soak the Tetra granules for smaller nano-sized fish to feed them? I don't personally, but that's a great idea. Like, if you only have a few tanks and you don't have to worry about feeding a ton, then that's a absolutely great idea. What I do is I just kind of crush it up in my fingers. And then, so like I'll go through the tanks like, oh, there's some big fish in there. I'll give them the bigger bits. And then some smaller fish, I'll kind of crumble that in. And say if there's some babies at the end, I'll just use that dust on my finger and just right off the tips. You got guppy grass for sales? I do have guppy grass for sales, and I believe it's on sale too. I think it's only like $3 right now, which is, it's normally $5. Does anyone run CO2 with Neocaridina shrimp? Thanks in advance. Help. So I have back in the past, and you're not gonna get as much breeding from them. Like, it can be done. You got to be careful. The trick is just to use a little CO2. Don't try to like borderline the CO2 to get like the best out of your plants. If you do that, more than likely it's not going to work out great for your shrimp. But if you just add a little bit of CO2 that just kind of helps balance that and their environment, then it's more able for them to breed, I should say. But without it, like, they go crazy. Mike Baker, and a lot has to do with softness and acidity. That CO2 adds this acidity to it, which for Neocaridinias, they don't care for as much. They like that, like, real hard mineralized water. Mike Baker, LRB, are hiding caves important for raising cory fry when no other fish is in tank? As far as important, like, it's not necessary. But is it helpful? Definitely helpful. The reason why I say that is because a lot of microorganisms will live in those caves as well, like detritus worms living off all the mulm that collects in there, Daphnia, Cyclops, all that kind of stuff. So when those cory babies are fry and they're sifting around all over the place, it's a good place for them to pick up food. And matter of fact, I need to update you guys on those cory cat eggs I'm picking out. They've actually got pretty good size. They were in a similar situation where they had the rock piles, and my success rate with them was a lot better with a rock pile. So I would say they're kind of important as an enhancement. Jason, man, that's a tough last name, bro. Bazovich, was that close? Thank you so much for the $10 super chat and the support, brother. It says my shrimp implants came today. Thanks for that extra shrimp. They all arrived alive and well. Well, thank you so much for the extra tip on top of the order, brother. I appreciate you big time. So thank you. And always glad to hear that they made it safe. And right now the weather's getting pretty good, so it hasn't been too tough to ship. It wasn't all crazy like the last couple weeks. And Steven Dryvik, thank you so much for the $1 super chat. Throwing up the smiley face. Igor Anonymous says, do I need a filter on small pots outside? No, just watch evaporation. That's about the only thing you have to really worry about, is that evaporation. But as far as like anything I put outside, like, okay, I'm gonna show you this right now. Like, I'm not using airlines or water or filters on anything anymore. Like, I've given like up on them completely. Like, for instance, this is one thing I'm gonna start doing too, is these spawning mops. So I got spawning mops just hanging in here. I'll just throw these in here, this tote. Like, it doesn't matter. I've got another container where I have these, which is the similar situation. Like, I could go along. It's crazy. It's crazy. Mother Nature, man. If once you got a balance and you don't got crap in your water, it's just all natural, then I don't know. I don't have problems with this. Film don't build up. I've got those containers though upstairs where I've got some plants in them that are just growing out like crazy. I don't know. I don't use airlines or filters for anything anymore. Hello, fish. Mains, Tails, Furs, and Fins, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, hi, wanted to ask if I can keep crystal black shrimp with guppies. Now, guppies, they prefer harder water, and anytime keeping shrimp and fish together is definitely a gamble for sure. So, I mean, you got to do that at your own discretion. And when we talk about rock piles, matter of fact, let me flip you guys back over. Like something like this, you can keep fish and shrimp together a lot easier because the shrimp go in here, they can hide, they can get away from these fish. Now with these guys are always hungry. Would not recommend shrimp and rainbows. But guppies, you can get away with them a little easier. Just you are gonna have acidity problems with your guppies, possibly, as far as breeding and stuff, and then breeding more. Hey, Mr. Placo. Man, he's so bright, I can't even see him in here. Let's see. But thank you. Oh, let's see. Guillermo Escobar. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, love the channel, Lucas. Any tips on breeding pseudomugal Farcatus? I have a 10-gallon with 2 males and 4 females. So, the best way to breed any type of fish, really, is know their water. And now with pseudomuguls, they really don't care. It could be soft, it could be hard. As long as it's in like 72 degrees to 90 degrees, they don't care. They'll breed in it. But what you want to do is have good coverage. Let me see, which I really don't have so much in some of these tanks, but ideally what you want to do is have something on the bottom that they can breed in, like moss, and something on the top. Because sometimes they have different preferences for some reason, whether they want to breed on the bottom or the top. And that also helps with hiding fry. So with this pearlweed, which is absolutely one of my favorites, this is the pair that I breed all my dwarf neons out of, because I have genetically worked with them for a long time. There's actually rainbow fish. I don't know if you guys can see the little babies up at the top, but there's a lot more in here now because they're breeding down in here, but then the babies get coverage from here, from the parents. As long as I feed these guys well, they'll keep breeding out. Same with like my thread fins. I'll just put them in with a bunch of guppy grass. Then I could remove them from there, which I've got baby thread fins here, which are kind of like the Furcatus. But I hope that helps you, even with the 10 gallons. So just have some coverage. Pearlweed's one of my favorite. Unfortunately, I don't have it available right now. You guys ate that stuff up fast. But mosses, like more of the tighter plants are gonna help you better. I got a bunch of babies from here too. These are actually just scrap plants that I picked out from cleaning tanks. Threw it all into this 20-gallon, and now we got tons of it, just baby fry, because I knew there'd be eggs on it. So just threw it in there. Hornwort works good too. Riccia works good. I do have that. But thank you, Guillermo Escobar. Hope that helps. Once again, sorry if I'm missing your guys' questions. Let's see. No air, no filters. Must be a quiet fish room. Oh my God, yes. That is my favorite thing about this whole fish room. The other day, me and Sarah was sitting in here, and you could literally hear the timers on the lights. That's the only thing you can hear in here. When it's really quiet, is just the timers. Which, if any of you guys know what those manual timers sound like, they don't make a lot of noise. But you can hear them. Do you keep Congo tetras? So yeah, I do. I have them in the 240, and I actually have one right here underneath me. Oh, there he is. That's one I raised up, actually. So I bred them, let's see, really warm water. I think it was around 86 degrees. Rotalia any. Or really, I mean, they really love the Rotalia any, but they'll breed out in this Vesuvius stuff too. So anything like this, real compact, stemmy stuff. I mean, this is what most fish like. They like stuff that they know their eggs are just gonna like get swallowed by it. But those Congos every day, this pack right here, got 2 males, 2 females. They're always breeding, always. And as far as the water, they don't really care either. It doesn't seem, because I've kept that tank hard and soft. Deep fried apple pie in my eye. Oh. Well, Lucas, I bought some guppies from you, and they don't know how to eat anything other than tetracolor granules. It's the funniest thing. They just stare at any other food I put in the tank. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, that's why I feed this stuff. It's really what they've chose. I have tried some, actually recently, I don't have the bucket in here, but I did try some Fluval bites. Of course, I bought a whole bucket full and started using it, which they started eating it a little bit. It took them a while to figure out what it was, but then I'm starting to get more bacterial blooms from that stuff. Moonstone, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. It says, any advice for some angels who have stressed out bossy spawner and got a little ick in the tank with some Plecos? Safe treatment for Plecos. I know better than salt. Thanks for ideas. So, Ruby Reef Kick Ick. This stuff is the best stuff ever when it comes to ick. And I will even pull it up because I talk about it all the time. Nobody really listens to me about it. But this stuff is what you want for ick. And you have to go through the whole treatment, which isn't hard. Because ick has a life cycle of about a month. And if you don't just take care of it out of your system, then it'll just keep coming back. So this stuff has worked magic for me every time for everything. Invert, safe for shrimp, safe for everything. It works miracles. And the technology is really cool. So what it does is it just wraps up those cyst-like parasites so they can't latch onto your fish. So after the eggs have hatched and they try to get onto a fish, the ick eggs, they get caught up in that like plasma or whatever, and it like binds them up. Cytoplasma or something is what he called it. But I've been using that stuff for years, and you have to get rid of that out of your system. See, none of these tanks have ick in the system. People say it comes through the water line. I don't know. I don't believe that. I haven't seen ick in this fish room for, dude, I don't even know, like 4 years probably. 3, 4 years. You don't use ick-X? No, I'm not a fan of ick-X. Stuff's kind of nasty. The stuff that kick-X, clear. Like, your tank will look like this. If not, your tank will actually look cleaner because it'll kind of grab up some of the moldy stuff within the water too. And you can combo it with Rally, which helps with the cuts that the fish may get and any infections that may get into those cuts. RO's Aquatics says, I have blue sapphire neocaridina, also called blue diamond. They are very dark blue. I was looking to order some of your blue dream. Are they lighter blue than the kind I have? So mine are actually darker blue. I went towards the more sapphire color. The blue sapphires. I don't have any of the like real light blues, which you'll want to look for blue velvets if you're really trying to get that light blue shrimp and keep that solidness of a light blue shrimp. You want to look for blue velvets. And thank you again, Moonstone, for the awesome super chat. I hope that helps you out, and I hope you get the problem fixed. Man, these guys I just put a ton of guppy grass in here like maybe 2 hours ago. And they've already eaten most of it. Little piggies. Can a saltwater acidic fish be slowly transitioned to live in 500 TDS water? So yes, it is possible. 500 is a bit extreme. So if you look down here, I've actually got some cardinal tetras, which are known to be finicky towards hard water. But these guys are in about 350 TDS, and they do thrive. The trick is to do it slowly. Unfortunately, I did cover this earlier in this live stream where I talked about the whole process of doing that. So after this live stream, if you want to check it out, start at the beginning. It was like one of the very first questions that somebody asked about transitioning acidic fish to hard water and how to do it. A lot of these fish are getting older though. That's why I gotta get to breeding a lot of these fish. Some of them, like rainbows, live 2 to 5 years. Some of these fish are coming close to 5 years. Any budget filter recommendations for a plated 10-gallon? Ethan Van Steenberg, great question. So my budget filter recommendation would be no filter. So I mean, this one's got a power head, this one's got a power head, but every other tank in here, no filter, no filter. Granted, I neglect my tanks too, so you can make them look a lot cleaner in my tanks. Same with no filters, 10 gallons. With these lines in here, that's just how I add water. Which these have actually gone, I mean, this is at least over a month, no water change, maybe a couple months. This just won't stop being green because all that light up top. But I pretty much, you guys have cleaned out like almost all the dwarf neons out of there. That thing was full. After last week, you guys cleaned up my dwarf neons. I still got some over here in the 20s. But once again, these are 20s, no filters. So if you want a budget, no filter, I mean, just plants. And like, when it comes to planted aquariums, you don't need a whole lot to really get it started. And look in here, these silver tips have been breeding like crazy. You saw one go darting there. Let's see if I can get some of these babies. They're always around. Oh yeah, there's one, tiny little guy. Looking right at us. And once again, sorry if I'm missing those questions. Can crystal red, shrimp, and stir-by live together and breed? So, problem with cory cats and breeding shrimp together is they both do like rock piles. And cory cats really do love shrimp, especially baby shrimp, and if it's easy for them to eat them. This guy's just friendly, ain't he? Adam Scrum says, any advice or tank hacks for getting rid of leech parasites or worms on shrimp? Noticed some that came in from the west coast were kind of dirty. Interesting. Could it be Vorticella possibly? And if so, Vorticella takes the same treatment as planaria. Most of those things that come from shrimp, that dog dewormer, Pancure C dog dewormer, will take care of those. 0.1 grams per 10 gallons. Then you wait 72 hours. Do a 25% water change and then repeat it until they're gone. These guys are always breeding in here. There's Amber Tetra. There's actually cory cats in here. Ah, my feet! But no, I'm just kidding. There are cory cats that actually live down there. You just can't see them. Any tips for eliminating brown hair algae? Really, water change and then just letting your water balance. So if you got a nice cultured tank, you won't have that. So usually the brown algae is due to just being new. Too many water changes on a new tank can also cause that. So when you do first set up your tank, let it season. Don't rush that first water change. Let that tank season. Let it get its nice bacteria in it. I actually had a tank crash on me, which I got to share with you guys that scenario in a video here soon. First time it's happened in a long time. I kind of knew it was about to happen because of the biomass of the black worms in it. and it did finally crash, but I was able to salvage it that day with the technique of just using beneficial bacteria. Turbo Fish, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says, does the super chat button work? It sure does, Turbo Fish. Thank you, brother. And glad to see you in here. It says, hi, hope you guys are doing well, brother. Much love from the Turbo family. Well, much love back to the Turbo family. Appreciate you, brother. And hope everything's good on your end, too. It's crazy. We can't do these swaps or anything anymore. I'm sure a lot of people are ready for those to get back to going. Especially the spring auctions and swaps and stuff we all just surpassed. But thank you, Turbo Fish. I just saw a question. It jumped on me. Mike Sakis says, what is your opinion of deep sand beds and no water changes? So deep sand beds are great. Nothing wrong with deep substrate. More substrate the better, actually, because you got more to hold in that Mother Nature, that beneficial bacteria and all that good stuff I was talking about. And it helps with balancing those water changes and whatnot. Oh, nice. Sitting in my new chair. So, dang. Totally lost my train of thought there. Oh, yeah. And no water changes. As far as no water changes, I do recommend water changes, even though I'm not able to do them as much. Small water changes, excuse me, are kind of better than bigger water changes. Just because it allows your water, more small frequent water changes are better than big, less frequent water changes. Because every time you do a big water change, which I was guilty of for the longest time, still kind of do every now and then, it just takes longer for that new water to cycle back to what your fish are used to. So it's all just so fresh. I hope that makes sense. Thomas Glacier, thank you so much for the $7.89 super chat, throwing up the peace sign. Peace, brother. Appreciate you, Thomas, and great to see you in here again. Icarian Fish Nerd Lucas, I have a small plastic tub outside. Will the fish be okay without filtration and air pump? Yes, just make sure you keep them shaded for sunny days. If you're getting a lot of direct sunlight and their water could heat up too much, try to get something to shade them. You can get like a tree in a pot or something like that. Or just post something up to wear like an umbrella throughout the day. That way it doesn't cook them. But that's about all you really have to worry about when it comes to summer tubbing. And if leaves and debris and stuff get in to those little containers, don't worry about that. That's just Mother Nature, and she's used to it. JL says, some of my Colombian tetras have some blackening in their scales. Can it be because of breeding, or should I worry? Interesting. So, could be possible flukes. Maybe they're getting something underneath their scales that is chewing on them and causing that, and it could be blood and clotting. Or, I don't know. I haven't kept Columbia tetras. Like, I may have had some for like a couple months, but not long enough to get the breed to see if they did show any of that. Like, if it's like a sporadic, like one scale here is black, then maybe it could be water quality, could be flukes, could be something like that. But if it's like gradually going within the body and the color scheme and it changes, then more than likely that could be breeding or something else. If anybody else has experience with that in the chat, please help him out. That would be appreciated. Let's see, LRB, have you used black diamond blasting sand for substrate? So I have not. I haven't. I don't know. It always has, like, since it's glass shards and stuff, I don't know. It's just the back of my mind always tells me to stay away from glass shards. I'm poked and cut by glass too much in my life to want to deal with that. But, I mean, nobody has any problems with it. So I just never personally have. Work for fish, haha, in Hebron, Kentucky, says John's Fish Room. John's looking for work. You can pay him in fish, you guys. Eco Complete or dirted tank? How about a dirted tank capped with some Eco Complete? Or vice versa. You can do either or. I don't know. Do whatever you like, really. When it comes to the substrate, it's really hard to go wrong. Like, I've done so many types and combinations that it's really hard to go wrong. At least with the Eco Complete, think about Cory cats though, because Cory cats can rub their barbels off on that Eco Complete because it is made out of lava rock, which is pretty sharp. And sand is preferred for those Cory cats. Oh, this is much better. So my arm goes out. What's your favorite substrate for a planted tank? So my favorite substrate is actually sand. Is this white carob sea sand. I mean, Brightwell, Dirt, Eco, they all work well too. There you can barely see it. It's all moldy, dirty, and old now, but the plant roots really love that stuff. It's just the way that the density and consistency that the substrate is that I believe that the roots really love. And a lot of that's part of the substrate too, is like what kind of, because you get all kinds of granules, like the stratum, they're like chips, and then like the Brightwell, it's like balls, and then the Eco Complete's just a little crunched up lava rock, but at least that graduates itself. That's the thing I do like about Eco Complete. And I think why Eco Complete is pretty successful is the way that it graduates the sediment sizes naturally as it lies when you put it into the aquarium. And that plays a big role within the root system. And I think sand, since it's soft, it's silty. Now with the black sand, the carbon blasting sand, you've got more reflectiveness into that can actually penetrate through as well. I've actually had a lot of problems with black sand, and I think it's because of this and the way that it absorbs the light. It absorbs it in, and then it'll hold it, and it like really promotes algae growth on the top of it. And I don't know if that's really that great for roots either. I've always had black sand be problematic. I have not had a black sand that has worked great for me. Now, when I was out in Washington, Olympia State Park, on the Elwha River, which I did a video and showed like the whole landscape and all that kind of stuff, they had some black sand that would have worked phenomenally. It reminds me a lot of this white sand and its density and texture and structure, that it mimics kind of what this white sand does. So I hope that makes sense, like the porosities, densities, sizes, shapes, place factors in plants and stuff and how they can root. But the biggest trick is just having, like when you have soft water, just like when you're gardening, your soil pH, the softer your soil pH is going to be, the more nutrients the plants are able to uptake than if you have really hard alkaline water or substrate. So with harder water, you're going to have more of a battle keeping some plants than other people will. Now, if people with neutral water, they're more than likely going to have success keeping all kinds of plants. So a lot of it dictates the kind of water in your region. And I know a lot of people's are different all over the place, even within my state. So always something to think about. The uptake for plants' nutrients is easier for the plants in softer acidic waters. And that's why they recommend that. But it's not always necessary, because as you can see, lots of plants can still thrive and live in harder water. And that would be all my plants. So if you want to know what type of plants those are, look on my website at the plants. It's all listed there. That's actually a good way to find that list. Patrick Nedley, thank you so much for a $10 super chat. Appreciate you, Patrick. Glad to see you in here again. It says, my M. Herbert axelrodi are growing out. Think I have 2 males and 1 female. Thoughts on more balanced ratio? I don't want the males stressing the female as they grow up. Parents or eggs from Gary Ling. So what I would do is just pair up the alpha male, and usually you can tell the alpha male and the beta male, and there will be one or the other in that group. Keep the alpha and the female together, breed them out, and just put the other one into like a community tank so he can just have fun with everybody else. Hope that helps you, Patrick, and that's the way I would do it. Just that pair will be way better off than if you got the two males in there. What do you feed your blue dreams? I feed them this tetracolor tropical granule. I've been throwing in some Hikari algae pellets too in for them whenever I go to snag them up. They like that too. They like the little shrimp pellets too. I think that's because they have what they used to call back in the day snowflake food, which is nothing but the husk to dehulled soybeans. It has that in those pellets, so they really like that kind of stuff. So the dehusked soybeans, if you can get that stuff too. It's a good little treat for them. Sharon Miller, how big do your dwarf rainbows get? Are they okay to put with guppies? Yeah, dwarf neons, you can keep them with pretty much anything. This is as big as they get. So this is the side of a 20 gallon. So you're like 3 inches or so, 3.5 inches for the male. They're not very big. Opposed to these like Amarais, which will get bigger, and then Cali Rums. That's as big. These guys are, I don't know, probably like 3 years old. So they're definitely full grown. Do you ever have time to watch other fish channels, and if so, who? So I used to do it more back in the day. Definitely all the time. I pretty much watch everybody's, like literally everybody's. Like, I don't know, it all depends on who's around. Name them, I've probably seen their channel. Now I watch a bunch of, like, I'm always continuing my education. I continue my education every single day, whether it be on fish or something else. I mean, you can tell by my tabs here. So I do watch lots of stuff. I do look up lots of stuff, and I often run out of room too. I've hit the limit, and I've got to clean that thing up like every few days or every other day. But yeah. As far as like channels I've really been watching lately, I don't know. There's not a whole lot that like really jumps at me. I'm really trying to think. Because I mean, I kind of do it different than everybody else. So when a lot of other channels are doing their own thing, I've kind of like seen it in a sense. I mean to sound rash, but have I ever kept mud skippers? I have just gotten one, and definitely my best purchase ever. No, I have never kept them, but they have always been on the bucket list. I haven't ever had a chance to properly set them up, so I've never pulled the trigger on them. I see Danikin Aquatics in here saying he's got 6 mud skippers. Yeah, he's got some on his channel. He's got videos and stuff of them. Very, very cool aquatic creature. But they are kind of needy with their care and stuff, so I don't know. With as many aquariums as I have too, it would be a harder mouth to feed and keep up with. So my repertoire of fish keeping hasn't quite gotten there. Let's see. Deep fried apple pie, MI cereal question now. So cereal. Does guppy grass grow better floating or planted? I'm trying both and seems like a close race. Wondering about other experiences. So yeah, it is pretty close race. I mean, I think it does kind of like to be planted a little bit at the bottom just so it could still uptake nutrients from the substrate, but it's not necessary. And I think a lot of that has to do with like out in Mother Nature, when you think about when streams and rivers are flooding and whatnot, they often get like transformed. So sand can bury them or they can float them. No matter where that guppy grass goes, it's gonna grow. It's like true natural survivor. But yeah, I don't think it matters either or. Aside from fish, what is Lucas into, David Reed? You name it, I've probably been into it. Lucas got my first red plant. Any tips? Matthew Clayton. So I'm not sure which red plant you got. I'm not sure where you got it from. So that can play a big role in how it grows out. Red plants do tend to prefer higher light and iron to keep that red, but not always necessary depending on what type of plant it is. You should do a video with Father Fish. Yes, Father Fish is one I'm subscribed to and do catch every once in a while. And actually I was supposed to be there a few weeks ago, but with this whole shenanigans going on, I could not do that. So we are planning for later on, and that will hopefully happen sometime soon. What would be your advice to someone trying to grow their fish channel and breeding fish for profit? So, mains, tails, furs, and fins. Sounds like you've got a lot of things covered within just the title of your name. So you can cover a lot of genres with that, which helps out with your channel and just hitting the whole aspect of things. Really is just plugging out the videos. Keep it simple. Or well, you don't have to keep it simple, but just be yourself. Come original. Don't try to be like everybody else. Just do your own thing and enjoy it. It is good to kind of pick up on certain things that people do as techniques, especially like in SEO categories, search engine optimization and stuff like that. With like tags, titles, hitting all that kind of stuff. That helps with growing. Also doing the little posts and whatnot, those all help. Working on other social medias, all the kind of stuff that I don't really do, pretty much. That will help your channel. But it takes a lot of time. Editing takes time. Doing all that social, like I don't see how, like, well, I know how like Corey does it. Corey has a team. He's amazing at like collecting teams and stuff. But then you got like Joey, King of the DIY, who's constantly like on social medias, just plugging in this, plugging in that. Like, you gotta live on your phone for that. So I mean, you gotta think about what you want to do with your time too, and what makes you happy as far as your channel. So always keep that in mind. Make sure you have fun doing what you're doing. Don't let money drive you. Money is not everything. Money is great, but as long as you don't let it drive you, then it'll make it a lot easier, especially if it's your dream or passion to do so. And if it's not, then you're just kind of wasting your time too. Now, going into that, if you want to breed fish for profit because it is your passion, then you want to kind of look at the market. Start small. Just start building up things, growing them out. Plants, shrimp, guppies. If you want to get into hard goods, all that kind of stuff, you can get your license and do all that kind of stuff. And that's a whole nother ball game because you get more overhead. I personally prefer just growing things out because it's real low overhead. I don't have a whole lot of upfront costs. And yeah, stuff just kind of grows itself. But to make it really manageable to sustain as far as a living, you do kind of gotta build up a lot of tanks because you've got to be able to balance all the stock within like growing and not selling all of it out and not having enough to bounce back. So that can be tricky. So your multiple tank syndrome is definitely gonna have to be there. You're gonna have to love setting up aquariums. You're gonna have to love feeding fish. You're gonna have to love taking care of them. Sean Cruel says, ever dabble in saltwater, and if not, any desire to? So I personally have not, and yes, huge desire to, humongous desire to. My brother, he's actually a salty, so I mean, I've got the mess, I guess, a little bit with that. I've watched lots of stuff. I actually got a couple books. I was planning on putting a saltwater tank over here, but I turned it into my desk. The problem is the fact that I do have to do this as a business. I don't know. It's hard for me to really put my foot into that whole saltwater scene right now. Like when I do though, those fire red shrimp, those like cartoon looking fire red shrimp that they have in the saltwater world, those will be number one on my list for sure. But the thing is, I'm gonna want like 4 tanks for that because I'm gonna want to try to breed them and stuff. And whenever I was planning on moving to an island a month ago, but all the shenanigans hit. And now it doesn't seem like it makes sense, but if we ever do get to that, then definitely it'll be hard not to start going salty. I'll probably start digging saltwater ponds in my backyard or something. So who knows where life will take me, but definitely have the itch for it. Gary's Aquatics says, finally made it. How's it going tonight, Lucas? Fish room looks great. Thanks for sharing, buddy. Oh, by the way, can you remind me what the best fish food in the world is? Gary Aquatics, thank you. Tetracolored tropical granules is what my fish like. As far as if it's the best, I don't know. But my fish don't complain. Fish for thought. Great to see you in here, brother. Thanks for telling everybody to smash that like button. Jennifer Weaver, are you going to do an aquarium vet program on Monday? Am I going to do an aquarium vet program on Monday? I don't know why I would want to do that. I have seen, I think, who was talking about it? Oh, Tank Tested had some aquarium vet on. And then I think Corey, Aquarium Co-op, was talking about aquarium vet. And as far as aquarium vets, I don't know. I've never really needed one. I mean, I let Mother Nature do her thing. And as long as you got clean, healthy fish, and you start with them, which I guess is part of the problem why vet programs can be good, but I think a lot of the information, especially in the medical field, and I grew up with the medical field. My mom was a private firm nurse, registered nurse. So I had all the books around me when I was young, all that kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. I listened to it. And I think we put too much into it. We don't keep it simple. We meddle, we mess too much, it causes problems. Yes, there's theories, yes, there's ideas, there's things here. There are some proven solutions. And I think a lot of them have been solidified as far as information out there on the fish that we have. I think a lot of it is just not having the concept of why it's happening or what's creating it that often gets lost, because that tends to be the effect more than the problem. So in other words, what I'm saying, like when you get a new fish, you don't want to put that dirty old water that you don't know what's in there, could be any kind of parasite worms or whatever, in that water into your aquarium. You want to make sure when you get that new fish, they're nice and clean. They don't have any attachments to them when you add them to a quarantine tank or a new tank like that. Then they'll be all right. Now, sometimes it does happen and you can see this stuff, but when you do give them those fish baths, those clean fish baths, get all that dirty water off of them before you add them to any of your tanks, it'll save you so much heartache, because it washes away pretty much everything. But once in a while, they'll have like an internal parasite or something like that, and then we have our stuff like General Cure and even dog dewormers that can help with that. Prosody Quintel for like flukes and stuff like that, which flukes, they can be washed out from water, but flukes can also come through water lines too. But I don't know. I think a lot of it's already been figured out. I think people just need to keep jobs and to stay in the now, so they do so on certain things, which, I mean, I can't be mad about. And it is good awareness because, I mean, we are a species of amnesia, so we do constantly need to be reminded of things, me, myself, as well. What about summer tubbing? I love summer tubbing mains, tails, and furs and fins. Matter of fact, you ought to see what I'm doing in my backyard just for summer tubbing. I'm about to destroy it, or well, I've already destroyed it. My poor neighbors, they're just waiting. Oh, I'm so glad that I haven't got any HOA letters yet. Matthew Clayton, thank you. Or he says, do you use leaf litter for your tank? So actually, I used to do the leaf litter. Tried all that, the botanicals, driftwood. Now they're good for shrimp and grazing and stuff like that. But as far as fish and whatnot, it's a little trickier. You can get it to look good, but if you got a lot of light, it does promote some algae just due to the organics breaking down. It can be problematic for hair algae especially. But if you're keeping up on your water changes and not letting the nutrients build up too much in there, then it's not so bad. Ryan Witzig says, I bought shrimp from you and got them in the mail today and they're amazing. Well, thank you for ordering, Ryan. I appreciate you. Alex Bridgman says, have you ever kept Siamese algae eaters with shrimp? I think I picked up some false ones in my 182 liter tank, very heavily planted. Can't catch them now. Lots of hiding spots. Any thoughts? So yes, that is tricky. Best thing to do, if possible, is to drop down the water level as much as you can. So that will kind of help your playing field to the point that you got a big enough net that they can't get over it. There's not enough water that they can get over it. So you either got to worry about left or right with catching them. So if they're going into your plants, you got one area, open area, hopefully in your tank, that you can at least use that net in your hand to move them over into that area with the water level down. That way they can't jump over it. They have no choice but to go into the net. And those would be the flying foxes, I'm guessing you might have accidentally gotten. Have you ever thought about keeping the Poecilia bellifera, the Yucatan molly? Oh, I think, or is that like the sailfin molly? If so, then yes. I have thought about it, but I've never actually done it. Serious question. Those panda barbs, I put a mop with them today in a deli cup. Sticky eggs or not? What do you think? I bought Aquatics. So, barbs usually have non-adhesive eggs. They usually just fall right down. So, I mean, mops can work, but it's best to put like a cup or a container in that, or the mop into a cup or a container. So if you had them in a deli cup, should be all right. You may be able to see eggs. Should be able to shake it out. Daniel Velez says, just set up my pond last week, just water right now. Do you place gravel or anything else as a substrate? Thanks. So yeah, whenever I'm doing my ponds, I set up substrate. The ones I have outside, I even have sand and Eco Complete in it. When I do my big pond out here, I just plan on doing sand and some small rock pebbles. That way I can still plant stuff in there. Like, sand works amazing. Just the siltiness of it is great for plants. You look at lake shores and whatnot, look how much plants can grow into that sand. Mains, tails, furs, and fins, thank you so much for becoming a member. And I hope your channel gets grown and going for you. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you. Tracy Brunson, anyway, I can buy some female guppies that you call coals. I need 6 females, any age or size. So I do have random female Inler and guppy females. Now whether they'll be Inler or guppy is kind of up in the air because I don't have it really specified. And I just put them all in the same category. But you can get random females and males on my website in the special buy section. Tracy, poor Sparky, he needs inside. He's meowing. Holy crap, you guys got me way over an hour here. Didn't even realize it. You guys get me into the conversations here. June, do you have any good amount of Scriddles mix for sale? Can we get a look at the breeder tank? So as far as my coal shrimp, they actually come in as a Scriddles. Hey Sparky, come flying in. But they're actually my, kind of like my Scriddles. So if you order a multitude of my coal shrimp, then they end up being Scriddles. Because, like I want to take you back there. Sarah said if I walk slowly, I can go back into the back. So I don't know. Since we're over an hour, I can try that. But I don't want to lose you guys. As far as my special buy section, Tracy, you said you didn't see it. Go to lrbaquatics.com. Should be one of the very first categories. I gotta walk really slow though, because I do not want to lose you guys. And if I do lose you guys, I hope you all have a great weekend. I'll probably still hop back on here and say goodbye. But if not, then thank you all for joining. Lars K, thank you so much for the super chat, $10 super chat. Thank you, brother, again for the support. Says, love what you do. Well, thank you, Lars K. I appreciate you big time, brother. You're lucky having all this space. Dude, I got so lucky on this house. We got it for half of what it's worth. Nobody wanted it. It was ran down, sat empty for 8 years. We put a lot of love in this house. But definitely lucky to have it. Get this dehumidifier. Oh, I want to show you guys these before we go back there. A little update on them little baby Cory cats. Look at them. So adorable. They're everywhere. LOL, this is really slow. How's the quality on the video? I mean, is it going down or what? You guys haven't seen these tanks for a while. Can you restart the whole tour, Lucas? I wish I was giving a full tour here live. I need to get time for that. Like this, literally, this fish room has not had, this section has not had a water change since November. Since November. Like I keep topping things off, but it definitely needs water change for sure on some of them. Quality's still good, good. Now, I don't know how many of these shrimp I'm gonna see. Actually, like it's been hard to pull out some of these coal shrimp in here because there's been some crazy things going on with these mixes. So you'll get like greens, you'll get like blues, you'll get like green, blue, oranges, all kinds of weird colors, but they're not masked up since there's no food in there. There's the yellows. Surprised the quality's still good. Can I see fire reds there in the other room? I got that moss for sale too, that Taiwan moss. Look at that Reishi, so bright. These guys can't even see them, so green. Sapphires. Luigi Archiata. Yeah, lots of yellows. I've been throwing a lot of yellow Rileys too. So if you do get some of these yellows, you guys want to work on yellow Rileys, which is a super rare shrimp, that'd be the one to hit. Otter Creek Aquatics, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, can't believe I missed the stream. I hope everything is well. Stay safe. I hope everything's well with you too, Otter Creek Aquatics. Appreciate the support, brother. And yeah, been staying busy. Everything's been well. Thanks for asking. Here's the tank that crashed. Man, I need to make a video of that though, because even though I need to do a water change again, look, you can see the shrimp are getting back up. Problem is, this was just covered with blackworms. You can still kind of see them on the rocks, but there's just, like, the population got way too big. And with the lack of water changes, it crashed. But I was able to save it. Like, them shrimp were trying their best to escape. I feel bad for letting it happen, but dang it. I wish I had more time in a day. There should be some baby Cory cats in here. But like during maintenance, all I'll have to do is like clean up the algae a little bit. You guys wouldn't even know that stuff was in there. Same with that mulm. Regular maintenance takes care of all that stuff. But like I said, since November, no water changes, no picking algae, no really messing with anything. And I mean, a lot of them are pretty stable. Now there are some airlines in here. Some of them do have airlines. I don't think they really do anything but make noise. Alright, alright. Here's those rainbow tigers. See, here's what they've kind of been throwing. That's kind of been going into like this wild, because they did come from blue star endlers, but it's like a blue star without the blue. It's really weird. Really, really weird. They were a bunch of them in here with these mates, but then my mate started breeding, so now they have a 10-gallon by themselves. Got some maculosus growing up over there, some snake skins, and a couple peacock gobies in there. Shrimp, 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 shrimp. More rainbow tiger endlers. This is a nice colony though. This is the second version. This is a not cool mixed breed I've had, platinum hybrids and red kois. And they all bred out like pretty much the same, which was really weird. So it's a albino red koi and a platinum and all their babies. Shrimp, shrimp, shrimp. Ooh, I found that baby half-beak in here too. Last night, where was he? See if I can find him again. Oh, there's the parents. I haven't seen the parents forever. I thought they usually hide in the middle. You can kind of see them there. I don't see the baby. Oh, there's the baby. There's a big baby though. Look at him. I don't know if you guys can see that. They actually give live birth, those half-beaks. This is actually a pink flamingo crypt just under low light. Man, look at that bush. It's growing out like crazy. So, yeah. Still lots to do in here. Still lots to do everywhere. But we've been getting things organized. I gotta organize all this. Alright, I'm gonna hop off here because I gotta get everybody fed. But hey, I'm glad we didn't lose service there. That's pretty sweet. I even got my rack cleared off there. Oh my gosh. Been doing so much organization lately. Can't wait. Can't wait to get this stuff all done and just give you guys a bunch of fish and shrimp and plants. So if you guys need some of that, check out lrbaquatics.com, and I appreciate you guys all hanging out. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the support. Stay awesome. Have a great weekend. Till next time, everybody. Peace.